our shortest RV travel day ever. And it almost became a disaster before we even hit the road. Whoa, what? What? And I'll show you one thing that we never skip on moving day, travel day, and why it's so important. Well, this is a first. Traveling with the Christmas tree. The big reason that we're only traveling 5 minutes today. Plus, this week we review a new gadget that really comes in handy and I've never seen before. And finally, we make it to an RV resort that is just full of pleasant surprises that we've never really experienced. Nothing like a heated, lazy river. It's gonna be hard to leave this place. Travel day, but thankfully not a very long one.
Stink bug alert. Always the stink bugs.
One thing when we're packing up for moving day that we always tend to find around the RV lately, tissues, stink bugs.
They're a menace.
I don't know about you guys, but we go to parts of the country where stink bugs seem to get in here and then they just kind of hide in the walls, and then on hot sunny days they just come out and they're everywhere. Ugh.
Travel days, short or long. One of the things I like about the motorhome is I can cook dinner while we drive down the road. I'm using the crock pot. And dinner is cooking.
Bye-bye 2025, hello 2026.
Gotta get everything off the shelves in the shower. It will possibly go flying as we're driving. So we just put it in a little caddy for the drive down the road.
That caddy also comes in handy if we ever do need to use the bathhouse or something too, to walk our stuff down to the showers. Not often, but.
Nope, thankfully.
Now, as we're going through our checklist here, one thing we need to do is check the height of the RV. This is really important, obviously, for obvious reasons. And we've had a set height, but we've added an addition to the roof. We got the Max air vent covers, which actually are a little bit taller than the AC. So we want to go up there and get a new height of our camper. We can only do this with the motorhome when we're aired up. So we're kind of getting ready to go here, getting things done. And I was like, ooh, this is a good time. We're aired up. So we went ahead and got air. Shut the coach back off. I'm gonna go up there and drop the tape measure down to her. I'm gonna run either just run a broom or a 2x4 off the highest point over and have someone pull the tape measure down from that to get a good height so you guys know, what you're riding at going down the road. We got our highest point here. I'm gonna drop this down to you, Megan. Coming at you. And you just get a reading down there. Let's get another reading over here. Just walk with me. I'm gonna let it back to you. Boing. Okay, we are getting ready to hit the road. Just about done here. One thing I always like to do before we do hit the road is I go back over my checklist and make sure everything's still good, even if I didn't do it ahead of time. That way we know we're ready to roll, because I'm gonna, whoa, what? 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 What's up?
The 50 amp still plugged in.
I'm not rolling out yet. Well, that's actually why we're going over the checklist right here.
I thought we were about to go.
No. So, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Like, we're hooked up, we're ready to go. The last thing we always do is we unhook our 50 amp. And we actually almost did this one time, but that's why, talking about the checklist, before I actually roll out, I pull it up again, and even though I've gone over everything, I go over it again just to make sure. So as you can see, 50 amp disconnect, that's one thing we still have to do. So now we were just filming a little bit on that, and we got to come out and disconnect the 50 amp, and then we'll be ready to roll. But that's a good point, guys. That's what we're talking about. Always use a checklist. It doesn't matter if the day is long, if the day is short. It's just as important, because it doesn't matter if it's a 5-hour drive or a 5-minute drive. One little mistake can be a huge mistake. So always use your checklist. Okay, so that could have been a disaster, and it's something we've had to think about, and that's why it's on the checklist again, is disconnecting the 50 amp. I guess a little bit unlike the fifth wheel we had, it's really recommended to keep this camper with the 50 amp or the generator running anytime we're moving these big slide outs and jacks. Again, this is like a 38, 39 foot slide out, so it's massive and it just takes a ton of power. So while you can do it without that, it's just kind of recommended to have, as much power going to the system as you can. So we usually pretty much have it running, have it hooked up to 50 amp, we do the slides, we do the jacks, and then the last thing we do before we're ready to pull out is do the walk around. So even if we would have missed it on the checklist, we still hadn't done our final walk around, we obviously would have seen that the 50 amp was still connected. So tips, make a checklist, make a good one. Now, I'll put a link up to this video right here, and your checklist is gonna be different from ours, but this is a video where we did a checklist on setting up and breaking down on our Solitude. Things are gonna vary, like the little things that you do inside. People always wanna copy my checklist, but it's really not gonna be the same as yours. So I recommend as you go through on a travel day, write every little thing down. Put the dog dish away, roll this rug up, make sure cabinets are secured. That's what we do. That's what we do when we got the new RV. We had to make a new checklist, and we just started writing everything down on a travel day, setting up and breaking down. So I have two different, checklists, and just always use it. No matter how much, no matter how much of a veteran you are at RVing, you'll get complacent and you're just like, oh, we got this. We're used to it. Boom, boom, boom. It takes 2 seconds of distraction to forget something major. So you can see our checklist here, and we use our iPhones, and that way it syncs up with Megan's phone and it syncs up with my phone. As I check something off on my phone, it automatically goes to her phone and lets her know that that's been done as well. That way, if the two of us are kind of off doing separate things, the checklist will update between the two of us. So I do recommend that, and I do like having it on my phone because I always have my phone in my pocket versus a piece of paper or something like that. So if I'm out and about and I'm busy with something, I can still pull out the phone and see where I'm at on my checklist. Sometimes I may not check things off as I go, but when I'm sitting in that seat before I'm about to pull out, that's when I pull it up one more time. And if I hadn't checked everything off, I'll just go boom, 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 and check it all off, knowing that I did it or I didn't do it. When I'm doing my final walk around, we're just looking for everything. We're looking underneath the camper. We're checking jacks, we're checking tires, we're checking bolts. I mean, we really are looking for stuff like that. Just anything loose hanging, open windows, things you left out. You got all your water attachments, chairs. I mean, you're really just kind of going over everything, things that may not even be on the checklist. And this isn't something that we just do when we pull out. I really recommend doing this every time you get gas, stop for a pee break, no matter what it is. If you're gonna stop, just take the time to do a quick walk around, because it may save you a major headache or major problems down the road. Yeah, let's do this. And last thing we gotta do is hook up the Jeep and get ready for this long travel day. You driving today?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay, all right. This day may not be as smooth as I thought. Whew. And speaking of checklists, one thing we always check when walking around the camper, whether we're stopping or getting ready to hitch up, is the bike rack. I think a lot of times people kind of forget about this. You're so concerned with the fifth wheel, the hitch, all that kind of stuff, that even the hitch for the Jeep, if you're towing a Toad, that we don't think about our bike rack and the hitch and all the components for it. It's one thing we always walk around, make sure everything looks good with it, because it kind of sits back there, out of sight, out of mind. Now, I want to show you this new thing that we just got right here that we're trying out from Young Electric. This is a Young Electric 250-pound swing arm. And what this allows us to do is actually swing the bikes out of the way of the Jeep tailgate. So we found out that we had a problem, that we had the same problem when we had a truck. If we had the e-bikes on there, we couldn't really drop our tailgate. And now with the Jeep, we can't open the back end of the Jeep to have access to it. As you can see, there's just no clearance with the tire on here and the way the door opens up. So with this new swing arm, you can actually move everything out of the way so you can have access to open your truck tailgate, an SUV, or in our case, the Jeep, which we thought was pretty cool because once you put all 3 bikes on there, you're kind of stuck. You're like, man, we have no access. If we were storing stuff back there or needed to get back there, you just can't do it without taking all the bikes off, and even for us, taking the whole bike rack off, because with the spare tire on the Jeep, it would actually hit the bike rack, so we were just stuck, and it was kind of a pain in the butt. So when we installed the swing arm, we thought it was a pretty neat idea. Now I will say, for us, if you have a tire on the back, this won't apply for trucks and SUVs and things like that, but if you do have a tire on the back like a Jeep, you're going to need an extender. We had to get a little bit of an extender to move it out away from that tire so you have access to the pin to pop up the swing arm to release it to swing it open. And without the extender, the tire would actually get in the way of that. So keep that in mind. The option is we could not keep the spare tire back there. We could keep the spare tire on top of the Jeep or in the back if we wanted to, or you can get an extender. Now, I really love this feature because Megan knows I've been complaining about this for a while. When we have the bikes, I can never get back here. As you can see right here, it's just a 2-inch receiver, and this can hold up to 250 pounds. And it's just simply pop this lever up, you pop it up and twist it, and that's going to pull the pin out of the hole, and then you have this little handle right here with the trigger. Pull the trigger, pop the handle up, and that's going to release the swing arm, and then you can just push the swing arm out on 90 degrees completely out of the way, again, so you can have access to everything. And same thing, closing it back up, swing it back, pop this handle back down into place, lock it into place, and turn the pin and drop it back in the hole. It seems really secure, seems really nice. We've only gone down the road a little bit in it, to be honest with you, so we're going to kind of see how it plays out. Now, one thing, it may look a little sketchy and a little scary. When you do have that weight on that bike rack and you swing it out, it will definitely kind of, drop down to the ground on an angle. I'm not going to lie, just in my opinion, it does look a little sketchy, but again, that's what these things are designed to do, so I got to trust that. They know it's a swing arm, it's going to have weight on it, it's designed to swing open like this, so just kind of, you got to put your faith in the manufacturer of these products sometimes. Now, if you guys didn't see our video last week or the week before, we did a whole review on our 3-bike e-bike rack, because we have 3 bikes. This was a problem for us. Again, we always had to put a bike inside the camper. Now we can put 3 bikes up on here, and now we have the same, from the same company, this young electric swing arm. So we're trying it out. I think it's pretty cool, and I think if it's a problem that you guys have come across to where you can't open your Jeep tailgates, you can't open the truck tailgates, you can't flip your SUVs open when you have these bike racks on there, this is definitely going to solve that issue. So we'll probably do another video down the road and just kind of update you more, let you know how we're liking it, how it's holding up. But for now, I think it's a really cool idea because I've been looking for something like this. And again, if it's something you guys are interested in, we will have a code down below where you can get a little bit of a discount. So check that out. And since we were just talking about it, I figured I'd go ahead and take it off and show you guys a little bit of a close-up of what it looks like, how big it is. This weighs about, I'd say 45, 50 pounds. And again, it'll hold 250 pounds. But just keep in mind, if it's holding 250 pounds, now you have the bike rack on it and bikes. So just something to think about, but it's definitely heavy duty. As you can see, I mean, it weighs a good bit, and all the components really seem really well put together. So you kind of got to have a little bit of faith and confidence in using it, because like I said, it can look a little bit sketchy when you do swing the arm out sometimes. But yeah, we're going to see how it goes, and again, we'll probably update you guys on it. So you going to do this today?
Yeah, I'll handle the driving today, babe.
You look like Mrs. Claus going down the road here.
We don't really have a choice today. We haven't had our Christmas yet, so it's going to be a little weird. Okay,
we're hitting the road today. Big, long trip. Take about 5 minutes. Maybe a little bit slower since you're driving. A little more safety precautious today.
But I don't have to be the passenger princess today. Chris gets to take on that role today.
Sweating in my seat the whole time. See? Already tongue-tied. I'm so nervous.
Oh my gosh.
Now, so the big reason that we're only traveling 5 minutes today is we're staying in the area. We're just going down to another RV resort real close by here. And one of the main reasons, or if not the real reason behind that, is
Corbin.
It's Corbin. Yeah. As much as we love this RV resort, it's Rockport Ranch 2. We've been here a few years before. Always love coming here. Can't talk highly enough about it. Link up to this video if you want to go check it out. Super quiet, awesome manager, well kept. Yeah. Just it's awesome. Unfortunately, there's just never any kids here, and we always try to keep Corbin's best interest in mind. So we're going to a place that has a little bit more amenities, a little bit more kid friendly. It's paved so he can ride his skateboard and things like this. So we're going to give it a shot, and hopefully it looks like it'll get more traffic and travelers coming in
that have kids.
That have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that he has some more social interaction, or that he can at least go outside and ride his skateboard and stuff, because it's more like a gravel here. So even just having all the pavement will be nice. Okay, we're coming up to a stop sign here, so I got to put my seatbelt on.
I'm holding up traffic. There's somebody coming behind me.
We're about to get going here.
Things are about to get real.
Well, this is a first. Traveling with the Christmas tree.
Well, we haven't had our Christmas yet. We're doing that tonight.
Yeah, in case you guys are wondering why. I mean, I'm sure other people have traveled during the holidays and tried to keep some decorations up. It is after Christmas. It is January 1st, actually, our anniversary. But I've been gone on the boat the whole time, so I just now got home, and we're going to have Christmas tonight, actually. So we wanted to leave the tree up. We had to take everything else down, but I'm just going to keep an eye on this tree here so it doesn't go flying on anybody. It's kind of an interesting day because, there's still, whether you're traveling 5 hours or 5 minutes like we talked about, there's still so much you have to do that's the same. You're still going to have to do everything the same and kind of prep the same way. But then there's some things that you kind of don't. Like, we don't have a GPS running. We didn't really just have the backup camera on. There's a few things that, you kind of just throw some things, put them away real quick. You don't secure everything as good. But you still got to make sure you do the major things. And that's why we were talking about the checklist and how important it still is, even for a short travel day like this, where the hitching up and getting ready is going to take way longer than just the day itself. But we kind of had to go through it all anyways. And we even had to hitch the Jeep up just because, well, we wanted both of us in the RV, and we had to film some stuff for the Blue Ox hitch. We used the Blue Ox tow hitch, and we wanted to get some footage of that. So we're like, let's go ahead and hook it up. It's a good day to take some time to do some extra filming since the travel day is not too long. But as I'm sitting here and talking, I can almost see the resort coming up. Yeah, we're almost
just
there.
Right up here.
I better wrap this up. Now this, I was not expecting. This is nice.
How's that feel, babe?
Oh, it feels amazing. Nothing like a heated, lazy river. It's going to be hard to leave this place. If you guys want to know more about where we're at, stick around, because in the weeks to come, we're going to do a full review on this RV resort. And unfortunately, we won't be staying here as long as we want to, and we'll get into that next week as well.